Hello, Shorty here, and today I am reading from the complete book of the Zodiac, and we will be reading about the moon in Leo. So make sure that you go calculate your moon using your date of birth, time of birth, and location of birth. The exact time is really important to being accurate with your moon. Alright, so here we go. Moon in Leo. You don't need me to tell you what a wonderful person you are. If you've got a moon in Leo, you already know it to be true beyond question. Nor is it the only thing about you which you feel entitled to consider yourself certain. You know a great deal about many subjects, and your opinions are invariably right, or so at least you passionately believe. Actually, they usually are, but sometimes people resent this, partly because you tend to deliver your opinion in too knowing a tone of voice, and partly because they sense that while you're good at making suggestions, you're not so good at taking them. Nobody, but nobody, gets away with giving you advice, nor do they give you orders. Your biggest reoccurring fantasy involves the idea that you may get proof that your beloved parents are actually foster parents, and you're actually Queen Elizabeth II's love child, secretly born 2 years before Prince Charles. One day the world will find out and you will claim your throne, or at least your attitude towards life suggests that you must think along such grandiose lines. Fortunately, despite your occasionally pompous attire, your smart aleck disposition, and your tendency to want to be the star of every show, you are also one of the kindest, warmest, and most generous and genuine individuals who have ever graced the face of this planet. And for this you can be forgiven a multitude of sins. You can, I'm sure, heartily agree with Shakespeare's assertion that all the world's a stage. You're very much a class act and a natural celebrity. You exude warmth, charisma, and confidence. It's no pretense. There's something about you that is born to shine. Nonetheless, it's not quite the whole story. Like many of the greatest media personalities, you secretly suffer stage fright. No matter how many times you step in front of the spotlight to a thunderous applause, it's always preceded by a period of nervous pacing around your dressing room. Those who love and live with you soon learn to make allowances for these sudden swings between anxiety and bravado. They have to be able to supply the necessary quota of post-performance, "Darling, you're wonderfuls," and they also need some theatrical blood for their own in order to co-star with you in a succession of demanding roles. Where some people's lives are soap operas and others are just border on farcical, the moon in Leo is like a celestial agent who keeps booking you into good old-fashioned melodramas. No matter what. No. No problem is ever an ordinary problem. And no emotional reaction is ever a mild reaction. You either feel nothing or you feel as if you're on fire. And that is why you give yourself so wholeheartedly to the projects you tackle and the people you care for. It is also, however, why you often go over the top, putting more into a situation or conversation than it actually warrants. You're an incorrigible perfectionist, not because you have some perverse fascination with detail, but because you simply cannot bear the thought of being judged and found wanting. Yet, you're always suspicious of being fobbed off with the platoniest praise. This probably is the greatest drawback or difficulty you have to overcome on the road to a happy life. Like Groucho Marx, you can never feel quite comfortable about belonging to any club that would want to have you as a member. As a child, you were probably precious. As a teenager, you may well have been told you were old before your time, hauntingly aloof from the trivial fascinations of your more immature peers, but also probably extroverted and confident. Who would have thought that as an adult you would entertain such intense self-doubts and insecurities about yourself? probably only an astrologer familiar with the traits of a lunar Leo. Your moon sign is a blessing in that it gives you a natural air of dignity and authority. It is, however, a curse insofar as it makes you desperately worried that you may one day lose the respect others have for you. Often you will take refuge in righteousness or stick with tried and tested techniques rather than risk falling in your face as a result of exploring some unfamiliar maneuver. This result is that you become too easily set in your ways. If all these ways were means to a worthwhile end, that would probably be no problem. But you have habits that could sorely do with being conquered and tendencies that really do you no favors. You're often so nervous about getting it wrong that you hold yourself back even when you have a chance to get it right. You're so hungry for approval that you'll court it in areas where, frankly, you'd be better off being condemned for not going. You're so fearful of criticism, you'll refuse to listen even to the most well-informed and sincerely meant advice for fear you'd look silly taking it. No, of course, you're not like this all the time, just some of it, when the moon happens to catch you in the wrong phase. But I draw it to your attention so mercilessly because you are able to do something very constructive about your worst emotional worries. Eventually, a career or creative project is going to take off like a rocket. When it does, give it all you've got, and you'll soon regain enough pride to allow yourself to be humble. So, if you have a moon in Leo and also a sun in Aries, you're calm and at ease with yourself and with most people most of the time. You exude charm, confidence, and good humor. If you have a sun in Taurus, you're proud of who you are and what you stand for. Others may see you as stubborn, but you simply cannot settle for less than the best. If you have a sun in Gemini, you often say things for dramatic effect without thinking about their likely consequences, but you have a heart of pure gold. If you have a sun in Cancer, you've got a winning way with people and money too. Somehow, you're never emotionally or financially insecure for very long. If your sun is also in Leo, you're magnetically attractive and charismatic, though it has to be said that you fall for your own charms as much as anyone else. If your sun is in Virgo, yet to be born is the person able to get better of you in an argument or talk you into anything you don't want to be talked into. If your sun is in Libra, because you're so charming, few people realize how cleverly you have talked them into something. It's a good thing that you have scruples. If your sun is in Scorpio, you're probably very ambitious to get to the top of the career ladder. Even if you're not, others want to put you there, and deservedly so. If your sun is in Sagittarius, you're not a graduate of the university life. You're a perpetual student and proud of it. Every day's a glorious education. If your sun is in Capricorn, you are very conscious of your responsibility to others. You hate to see money go to waste, and you yearn to explore life's deeper mysteries. If your sun is in Aquarius, to take all you have to give, a partner must be very strong and special, but it is your very dear wish to find or keep such a person. And finally, if your moon is in Leo and your sun is in Pisces, you take great pride in your work and even more in your ability to recognize what's wrong with someone and how to put it right. Okay, so I hope you found the information contained in this video helpful. Your moon sign really does have a lot of important information about your personality and who you really are. So be sure to watch my introductory video about how to calculate your moon sign and take the time to figure out what your moon sign is so you can take both sun and moon into account. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I love you.